In this video, we're going to talk about how to find missing side lengths within a right triangle using trigonometry. In order to do this, you need to be able to set up an equation and solve for a given variable. Let's look at number 3 on this set of notes. We have a right triangle here with the right angle being right here. And we're going to start off by labeling the types of sides first, and then working backwards to find which trig function we're going to use. So I'm going to first mark hypotenuse, which is always across from the right angle. Opposite is going to be across from the angle that we're talking about, 26 degrees. And then Z is going to be adjacent. It's next to the angle. Now, opposite doesn't have anything written on it, so we can't use it in our equation. But 12 and Z are both given to you as actual entities that you can use inside of an equation. And that's adjacent and hypotenuse. If you go up here, our little 9-letter saying SOHCAHTOA, which trig function relates to adjacent and hypotenuse, or A and H? That's the center one. C standing for cosine. So our equation is going to be cosine, and inside the trig function is going to go the angle. In this case, it's 26 degrees. So cosine of 26 degrees, it's going to be equal to the ratio of the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So in this case, it's Z over 12. And we are going to solve for Z. So we're going to assume the denominator here is 1. And we're going to cross multiply. So Z times 1 is going to be Z. And then I'm going to rewrite this 12 times cosine of 26 degrees. So you're aware of how to type it into the calculator. Before you do type it in, make sure that your calculator is in degree mode and not radians. Otherwise, you will get a different answer than you should. So 12 times cosine of 26. Just type it in as you see it, in case you're wondering what it looks like. That is how it should look. When you press enter, you get Z is approximately 10.79. There are no units here, so we're going to keep it as 10.79 blank. Just to make sense of the problem, my hypotenuse is 12. Remember that your hypotenuse is always your longest side. This is smaller than 12, so obviously that should make sense as one of the legs. If you're solving for a leg and you get a number that's larger than your hypotenuse, something has gone wrong here, because the hypotenuse would always be the biggest side. So luckily our number is smaller than 12, so we're fine in the make sense department. Let's go on to another example. Number 6. Number 6, the right angle is right here. That's what 90 means. And we're going to label the side lengths. Y is hypotenuse. My angle's right here, so that means that 27 is your opposite, and this blank side is the adjacent. So if you look at your side lengths, adjacent is blank. Opposite has 27, hypotenuse is Y. The trig function that has opposite and hypotenuse, or O and H, is the S, or sine function. So we're going to write down sine of 39 degrees is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, so 27 over Y. Again, you're going to use the cross-multiplying method of solving proportion to solve for Y. So 27 times 1 is 27. Y times sine of 39 is just Y times sine of 39. This part here sometimes trips up students. You have multiplication, so the inverse is going to be division. The question is, what do you divide by? It'll be easy once you understand that sine of 39 is one thing, one entity. You can't split up the sine from the 39 or reverse that 39 from the sine. This is all one thing. So if you're currently multiplying by sine of 39, you have to divide both sides by sine of 39 degrees. Okay, sine of 39 divided by sine of 39 is going to be 1, and we can cross that out then. Here, you're going to type this into your calculator and find out what y is going to be approximately. 27 divided by sine 39. To show you again the calculator. If you're going to type it in, this is fine for the calculator. The calculator knows that this is one thing, okay? So you don't have to put parentheses around the entire sine function, but you should get into the habit of closing the parentheses. You don't always have to, but get into the habit of closing it. Press enter, and you get 42.90. No units. Let's check, see if the answer makes sense. This is your hypotenuse. Your hypotenuse should be your biggest side length. 42 is larger than 27, so yes, that does make sense. If you got a hypotenuse that was smaller than 27, then it kind of goes against the definition of hypotenuse, where it is always the longest side in the triangle. All right, so let's run down the quick outline of the steps. First, label the sides. Second, determine which sides actually have items on them. Third, determine the trig ratio, sine, cosine, tangent, depending on what's given. You can use this up here to help you. 4, set up the equation to solve for the variable. 5, actually solve for it using cross multiplication of a proportion. All right. Round to the nearest tenth that'll be fine. Put down units if there are units given on the practice.